as happy as can be. MICKEYCOFFEE. Good morning. Welcome, everybody, to the show today. He's back. And not me. I was back yesterday. That other guy. You know who I'm talking about. See, if you probably didn't get here before I changed the picture and the title of the stream, but he's back. And boy, oh boy. Some media are really having a hard time with this, and you know, I can't do anything for them. So we're sorry. We're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about a few other things. Little Joe Biden. Joe Biden has also had an interesting day yesterday. Although these so-called these particular gaffes, I don't know. I'm not fully convinced, but anyway, we're gonna check everything out, and we'll do the thing. We'll do the the thing. We're gonna do the thing. You know the thing. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. It's me, your host, Marty, also known as PDawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawg Knight Channel. It is Tuesday, the 6th of October, 2020. And we're ready to have a good show today. So like I said, the president's back at the White House. As I watch the media, and I have my own questions about exactly, his actual condition and whatnot. But you know what? He decided to go back, and I'm sure the doctors have plenty of people hanging around him to make sure he's okay, and he's on these drugs, and yada, 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 yada. And he is the president of the United States, probably the most protected person on the planet. So I don't know. We'll just see, and his message yesterday I thought was appropriate for, what his style is, and, how about we just roll with it? But no. The media freakout was insane yesterday, particularly from the usual suspects, the Joe Scarbos and Mika, Veeker and Leaker, as some of us call them. And the whole lineup, obviously, at MSNBC was losing their shit. Oh, shit, I almost said it. What the hell happened yesterday? My stream yesterday, I don't think I swore one time the whole stream. And it still got that little yellow mark on it that says, this is not suitable for all, whatever. But the CNN crew, everyone on CNN was losing their minds. And so we'll take a couple peeks at a couple things that the reporters did. Excuse me. I'd have a mute button, but I just not that sophisticated here. So anyway, before we get into it, let's say good morning, everybody. There are 40 people here already. It's only 5 minutes after the hour. What is going on, people? I love to see it. Let's just do a quick rundown of who's here, and I'm going to make it quick because I need to. First in the chat today was Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who also gets the bell because you were first. Good morning, sir. Also, good morning to CNN Sox, Renee Mayette, Richo, my friend from down under, James Colley. Oh, I'm here too. Isn't that great? Also, I got to scroll down because we had quite a conversation beforehand. Grillin' Pirate Pete, who's got some meat getting ready to go on the grill. You go ahead, sir. Also, good morning to Kessler. Let's see, Gunfox 61. Purple Pill Perspective, Dark Isle, Select a Boy!
Yeah, boy!
Also, Stabbage Joe Scarborough, keeping the knife sharp. Johnny Hellcat the first. Oh, you're not first today, Johnny, but you were the first ever to watch my show, so I always will mention that because I appreciate you so much. Also, good morning, too. Let's see. I got to scroll down. Jesse Leon, welcome back. Uncle Bad Touch. That sounds. Are you related to Joe Biden, whatever his name is? Anyway, God Emperor of Duncan, what's up? Good morning, Donatello Slap-a-Fellow, my favorite name on the internet. Also to the gayest person on YouTube, welcome back. Nice to see you. Let's see, who else is here? Haig 1966. Welcome. I'm just scrolling. Sapphire Dragon, hello. And I think I'm getting most of you. James Crow, what's happening? Bishop, good morning. I got Kesler already. Katie did skate. Sean DW, Duck Dog. Ebony Williams, hello. Zombie Teddy. I missed a couple when I scrolled too fast. Okay, I got you. And I think I got about everybody there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's nice to have you here as always. So, yesterday, the President of the United States, who had been hospitalized. Now, when I left for my vacation, hey Larry, Bosch Tube, I see you both. When I left on Thursday, and by the way, we clocked out our miles, 1,172 miles of driving over the 4 days. 60 Laura's watch said 61,000 steps, which is about 30 miles of hiking, 81 floors, stories, so to speak, 84 stories of elevation changes, going up and down and up and down, up and down hills and up and down stairs and things they built in the trails and stuff. Woo! No wonder my legs are telling me to go straight to HE double hockey sticks. I'm going to keep it clean for the first 10 minutes and maybe I'll keep this one monetized. Anyway, yeah, it was a hell of a long weekend. And my hips and my knees are telling me to go straight to, that place. Anyway. All right. So, and I do, by the way, I do have my cup of reparations coffee. Today it's in the Brigettas Cafe out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. That's the cup of the day. Let's just take our simultaneous, who does that? Scott Adams. If you've got a cup, take a sip right now. Richard reminded me that coffee is the answer to life's problems. So there we go. All right. So yesterday, the president, Thursday when we left, the president was going into the hospital, and yesterday he was coming out of the hospital, and that seems like it was quite a short time in the hospital, and it makes me think, that they've been learning things on how this all works, as far as the coof, the Siamese snivels, the anyway, Chinese lung AIDS, everything you call it, that is known as COVID-19. And the president had, they're not giving us the full details of what happened with him. Apparently he did have some rough spots there, but you know what? Good morning, Attack Alpaca. It seems to have recovered some, made some little Twitter videos while I was in, and now he's back in the White House. And as he returns to the White House, Donald Trump says, don't let coronavirus dominate you. Okay? There we go. The CCP AIDS, yes. President Donald Trump urged Americans to stop being afraid of the coronavirus after he returned to the White House from receiving treatment for the virus. I learned so much about coronavirus, and one thing that's for certain, don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it, Trump said. You're going to beat it. Beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. No one wants to be defeated. Anyway, that's terrible. The Wu-Tang flu. Yes, good morning, John Smith. Say hello to Elizabeth for me. The video appeared to be filmed on the south portico of the White House, and after the president removed his mask. Oh no! Let's just watch the video. Here it is. Here's his. I don't know if this is the full. I think this is about 50 seconds of it.
I just left Walter Reed Medical Center, and it's really something very special. The doctors, the nurses, the first responders, and I learned so much about coronavirus. And one thing that's for certain: don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it. You're going to beat it. We have the best medical equipment, we have the best medicines, all developed recently, and you're going to beat it. I didn't feel so good, And 2 days ago, I could have left 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I felt great, like better than I have in a long time. I said just recently, better than 20 years ago. Don't let it dominate. Don't let it take over your lives. Don't let that happen. We have the greatest country in the world. We're going back to work. We're going to be out front. As your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it. I stood out front. I led. Nobody that's a leader would not do what I did. And I know there's a risk, there's a danger, but that's okay. And now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune, I don't know. But don't let it dominate your lives. Get out there, be careful. We have the best medicines in the world, and it all happened very shortly, and they're all getting approved, and the vaccines are coming momentarily. Thank you very much, and Walter Reed, what a group of people. Thank you very much.
All right, so that's the president's message. Very optimistic, very upbeat. Looks like he's feeling pretty good. Good for him. I hope that holds. A couple people more showed up. Good morning, Chrome, Smarty Bear, Bosch Tube. How you doing? Okay, prior to that goes on here. Prior to recording the video, President Trump exited Marine One, walked up the steps of the South Portico, turned and removed his mask as he stood and saluted Marine One as it left the White House. The White House did release a video of the president's return. Now, my problem here is I'm thinking maybe I need to use my own music so I don't get a strike. So I'm going to just take a chance and let's find some epic music here. Here, let's go. Here, let's try this one. And I'm going to mute the music for his thing, his whatever it's called here. Let's go with, let's see. All right, that's pretty epic. Let's try that. We'll mute this. Is it going to play? What the hell's going on here? Here we go. It's probably super loud. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I forgot about this. I forgot how loud my music gets up on here. Sorry about your ears there. And now we'll play it. It's pretty epic, isn't it? Oh, wow, that kind of fit right in, didn't it? And there you have it. So that's the president returning from the hospital on Air Force One. I had to put my own music in there because I did not want the content strike. So anyway, that kind of worked out, didn't it? All right, turn it on. Hang on a second. I got to figure out how to turn it off. Okay, pause there. All right, there we go. Anyway, so now the music they had in that video was about as epic as the music that I had for the video, but now I won't get a content strike for it. Anyway, let's see. So that was him returning. Now, let's talk about let's talk about some of the media reaction, which I'm gonna just pull from a couple examples for you. Just a couple examples. The first one I have here is from Legal Insurrection. This reporter on a hot mic says, after docs say Trump is improving, the reporter on a hot mic says, this wasn't as fun as yesterday. Oh, good Lord. Doctors at Walter Reed gave everyone good news on President Trump's health on Sunday after he went in for treatment for COVID-19. Well, one reporter didn't think this was good news, and he was caught on a hot mic. Let's take a listen to this.
That wasn't as fun as yesterday.
She said that
That wasn't as fun as yesterday.
That wasn't as fun as yesterday, she says. Good morning, Kyra Alexander. What's up? Granted, America's media thrives on drama and controversy, so maybe this reporter wanted something juicy. But God forbid the president improves in his fight against COVID-19. Trump derangement syndrome has literally broken these people. They've trashed and vilified Trump over the pandemic. It's likely they wanted him to get really bad. Hopefully none of them hoped he would die in order to say, I told you so. Well, Biatch, I'm telling you to step off. Anyway. And good morning to Chi-Town Jay. Hello. Also on CBS, this correspondent said that North Korea is safer than the White House. God. These people are losing their minds. The CBS News White House correspondent Ben Tracy tweeted that he felt reporting in North Korea was safer than reporting in the White House on Monday. I felt safer reporting in North Korea than I currently do in the White House, Tracy said. This is just crazy. Tracy's comments followed the infections of Donald Trump, Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, senior counselor to the president, Hope Hicks, and other officials who have spent time in the White House with the coronavirus. Before reporting at the White House, Tracy covered North Korea and China, reporting on nuclear weapons and trade between the two authoritarian regimes. While reporting on the demolition of a North Korean nuclear weapon testing facility in 2018, Tracy, the only American network correspondent invited to view the test site's destruction, said that North Korea officials confiscated radiation detecting devices upon journalists' arrival in the country. He said officials reassured reporters that they had never detected radiation emanating from the former testing facility. Anyway, so this guy thinks North Korea is safer than the us. And then we have this CNN reporter who was complaining about President Trump removing his mask. As soon as my technology works here. But they have video of her taking off her mask. Hips, yeah. Yeah, I got that a little backwards. CNN reporter Caitlin Collins bemoaned President Trump's taking off his mask when he returned to the White House from Walter Reed Medical Center late on Monday, only to have her past actions with masks called into question by the Trump campaign. Now, one note. When the president took off his mask, by the way. Good morning, atheist icon. When he took off his mask, did you notice that there was nobody around him at all when he did it, when he went to salute Air Force One? Now, they didn't really show him whether he went back in the White House with his mask on or whatnot. But, you know, we just don't know enough about this disease to know if he's still, contagious. We don't know. Anyway, yeah, let us remind viewers now that the president is on steroids and a drug. This is Caitlin Collins. Drugs that fewer than 10 people outside of clinical trials have gotten inside the United States to deal with coronavirus, Collins said. He had a level of treatment and a level of care that most Americans would not get. That is understandable. He is the president of the United States. Everyone expects that. But what the president is portraying by taking his mask off when he gets back to the Truman balcony to give his grand return to the White House is that everything is fine. And as he said, don't let coronavirus control your life, continued Collins. But that is very much still a president who has coronavirus, Collins claimed, despite the lights and the flags and the staged entrance that the president wants to create. He still has coronavirus, and he's only a few days into the diagnosis. And Aaron, today his doctor didn't reveal a lot of information as he has for the past 2 days. But he did still say that he will not breathe a sigh of relief until Monday. That's a full week from today. Collins then tweeted out a video clip of the following caption: only days into his diagnosis, the first praying president does when he gets back to the White House is to take his mask off. Well, the Trump campaign quickly hit back at Collins, highlighting a video clip from earlier this year where she immediately took her mask off inside the White House press briefing room, an enclosed indoor space where other people were present, after she apparently thought the cameras had been turned off following the end of the news conference. And here's that clip of Caitlin Collins. And I remember this clip when it happened. You know, here we go. Let's go full screen on that one. So here they is. Press conference over. She stands up. This is Caitlin right here. And she stands up, and immediately the mask is off. Oh, Caitlin. Caitlin, was that mask just for show? Because you were asking questions with the mask on, and you're walking around people, and you're closer than 6 feet, and you don't. That guy, you just killed him if you have it. Oh, luckily you didn't. But yeah, so the White House hits back. Now, what's funny, I saw this tweet as it happened. Like, you know, it was on my feed, and one of the next tweets around it was Jake Tapper, and I don't remember exactly what the tweet was, but it was some snarky bullshit. You know, oops, I swore. It was some snarky stuff from Jake Tapper regarding the president. And it's almost like Jake Tapper. You know, Jake Tapper. Everyone used to think Jake Tapper was so you know, fair and even keeled, and didn't put his politics on his sleeves for everyone to see. But Jake Tapper's another one of these people that Trump has just broken. I'm just saying. Anyway, but some of the other responses that she received. Here's John Gabriel, which is fine. No one is near him. You can dislike how Trump has handled the COVID messaging and still acknowledge that he isn't endangering anyone standing 100 feet from everyone else outside. Yes, he was quite a ways away from people. Good morning, Uncle Bobbity. Impeached for not dying of COVID in 3, 2, 1. They are literally. I know that the only way that they can slow down the confirmation process for Amy Coney Barrett is if there's an impeachment either of Trump or somebody, because the Senate rules requires them to stop what they're doing and do some sort of procedure before they do any other business. Thank you, God Emperor of Dontion, who gave the devil's donation of $6.66 through Streamlabs, who says the mask isn't even slipping anymore. She's taking it off right in front of us. Yeah, that sounded kind of. Okay, what is that? No, it didn't. Anyway, yeah, it was funny. I remember that press conference. She spent the whole press conference and she asked her questions in a mask, and she's this and that, you know, making a good show of it. Soon as they walk out, soon as she stands up, whoop, mask is gone. Not even funny. Kirstie Alley of Cheers fame says, what would you like him to do? Start crying like a little bitch so you could report that he's crying like a little bitch? He could have had a hazmat suit on and you would report he's a fucking lunatic in a hazmat suit. You hate him. Just report that. Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent and podcast host. Is Caitlin literally shaking? She trails only Acosta in the Desperation Olympics. Thirsty. And Chris Barron, are you truly this stupid? Do you see anyone else anywhere near him? Are you sleeping with your mask on? Wearing it alone in the bathroom? Are you showering with it, Caitlin? The Reagan Battalion, the closest human being to him is about 100 feet away. Can you stop pandering? More like, can you stop pissing your pants? Good morning, Kevin. Wiped and washed. Woo, man, you must own a bidet. Ned Ryan, what are you? Like a mask nanny? Seriously, stop. Right on. Anyway, yeah, and then after the White House, he sent out a short video statement. Anyway, if you really want to see, I'm sorry, I didn't put it on the screen, but if you really want to see the freak out that they were having, it was pretty embarrassing, I got to tell you. Anyway, all right, let's, as I fix this, what the hell did I do here? There we go. Didn't realize my chat was all messed up. All right, let's move on to something else. If you want to watch the media freakouts, I'm pretty sure that if you watch HB today or maybe even Lords of the Night. They'll show you some of the media freakouts. They might have had them on last night. But anyway, Kevin S., what's happening? How you doing? I'm not sure what you're laughing at. Maybe it was my barrel. That's my 70 porn music beatbox thing I do. Anyway, let's move on to something else. Some different things. Apparently, the governor of New York has some issues. Has some issues with religious institutions. And oh, that's an interesting ad. Whoa, look at this ad. I wasn't going to show this, but look at this ad for the, wait, hang on a second here. The Henry Long Ranger, 223, 243, 308, and 6.5 Creedmoor. Anyway, Governor Cuomo of New York, you know, Andrew Cuomo, the guy who has probably killed more senior citizens prematurely than anybody in the planet. Well, there might be a couple that have done worse, but anyway, apparently religious institutions have been a problem. Andrew Cuomo threatens to shut down churches and synagogues. These ads are killing me. Daily Caller, come on now. Get the hell, what the hell? Get off I don't want this. Thank you. All right. Oh my God. Now what? Hang on. There we go. No, your data. Okay, I don't need that. The governor of New York threatened Monday to close down religious institutions, specifically Jewish synagogues, if they do not follow his coronavirus restrictions. He says, "We know religious institutions have been a problem," Cuomo said at a Monday press conference. "We know mass gatherings are the super spreader events, except for protests and riots. We know there have been mass gatherings going on in concert with religious institutions in these communities for weeks. For weeks, here is Andrew Cuomo. Here is Andrew Cuomo.
We know religious institutions have been a problem.
Huh.
We know
Have they?
mass gatherings
Have
are
they?
the super spreader events.
Wait, whoa. Now, here's something fascinating that I'm thinking about. Now, do you remember, it was a couple months ago, and Cuomo was talking about, even though they had shut things down, most of the patients they were getting from coronavirus were people who got it in their own home. But then they say that he's saying now it's the religious institution problems. Do people, I know he's got stores and different things open. Is it possible that you could have gotten somewhere besides those religious institutions? But anyway, let's listen to Governor Cuomo.
We know
There
have been mass gatherings going on in concert with religious institutions in these communities for weeks.
Oh, have there?
For weeks.
Uh-huh.
I don't mean little violations. You're only supposed to have 50, they had 55.
Oh.
I'm talking about you're only supposed to have 50 outdoors. They had.
Now, I do want you to notice the pictures, because we're going to get to the pictures here in a minute.
These are pictures.
These pictures.
From the past couple of weeks.
Oh, for the past couple of weeks.
And these are just emblematic.
Okay, emblematic. Pictures.
You've all seen pictures.
Note, pictures from the last couple of weeks. Remember that phrase.
Pictures like this for weeks. What did you think was going to happen?
I'm wondering.
What did you think was...
I'm curious, Governor Cuomo, when you sent all those coronavirus patients to nursing homes and elderly care facilities, what did you think was going to happen? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? Sorry.
Was going to happen.
Yes. I'm curious.
Religious institutions are mass gatherings and raise.
Okay, so that's the end of that one. So they continue. But the photos that he used from that so-called gathering from a couple weeks ago, it appears that the photos that Cuomo referred to are from 2006 and showed the funeral of Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum, according to Jewish insiders Jake and Kornbluh. Cuomo's office did not immediately respond to press inquiries regarding the photos. Cuomo said that he understood that closing down of religious institutions can lead to uncomfortable situations, but that he will tell the Orthodox community on Tuesday, if you're not willing to live with these rules, then I'm going to close these synagogues. I've had a 30-year relationship with the Orthodox community, he added. Now, it's strange because he and de Blasio seem to have a problem with the Jews. Anyway, thank you, Gunfox61 with the $2, who says, from Streamlabs, thank you, where is a country that is also attacking churches? The name starts with C and ends with
China is asshole.
Thank you, Gunfox61. I appreciate it. And he says, it goes back to my father. I've had a very close personal relationship with them. This is the last thing I want to do. Forget the politics. I don't care about that anymore. Personally, I don't want to have this conversation. It's a difficult conversation. And you're right on the line of government intrusion on religion. So difficult, so hard. Anyway, so let's see, the New York governor also described how health department officials can help monitor whether religious institutions are following the coronavirus restrictions. He offered the example of Nassau County Department of Health official who is stationed. He has a health department official stationed in front of St. Peter's Church. The capacity is 150, he said, speaking as a hypothetical state official running the task force. You stand at the front door. When they go over 75, you close the door and call me. If you have any problems, the state police officer is down the block and he will come help you. So he wants the state police to come in and he wants the state police to start coming in and arresting or blocking churches and shit. Holy shit. And then related to this, that photo, Cuomo used fake news against Jews to justify a lockdown. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo displayed a 2006 image of Jews congregated to single out a religious community when warning that enhanced lockdown. Now oh my gosh, isn't that an Orwellian term? When warning that enhanced lockdown measures are likely to come if the gatherings persist. Enhanced lockdown measures. We're going to shut your church down with guns and mortars. I don't know. What the hell? Anyway, apparently the picture put up in his presentation of a so-called recent large gathering at Satmar Kairas Joel is from 2006, the funeral of Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum in Kiryas Joel. So, in fact, here it is from the Jerusalem Post. October 20th, 2007. That's the same picture. Oh, my gosh. So there you go. He kind of blew it there. Now, let's move on a little bit. Let's get into some... Let's talk about Joe Biden a little bit. Little Joe Biden. Why ya always hiding? With you, I'm not riding. Campaign like Poseidon. Joe Biden. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. I said thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, let's go. Okay. That wasn't very enthusiastic, though. Maybe we'll do a little better next time. Anyway, let's talk about the former vice president, the Democratic candidate for the president of the United States, who had an interesting day yesterday. Now, at least 2 of the 3 clips, I do have some questions about. This one, where Joe Biden made another comment that made on the campaign trail that sounded a little racist, just a tad, tiny teensy bits racist, right? During the campaign event in Tampa, Florida, Joe Biden made a rather bizarre comment that really shows us what the Democratic nominee thinks of Black Americans. Now, he didn't just say Black Americans. There were other. He went on and on. This was a small part of a longer phrase that was kind of cut off. But even so, I think the point they're making here is somewhat valid. The American public. He quote, "The American public, the blinders have been taken off. They've all of a sudden seen a hell of a lot clearer. Geez, the reason I was able to stay sequestered in my home is because some Black women was able to stock the grocery shelf." What the hell are you talking about, Joe Biden? Here it is. Now, they did cut off this. It was a longer phrase. He was talking about different people, different types of people doing things that were keeping the world going. But this part of it,
geez, the reason I was able to stay sequestered in my home is because some Black woman was able to stack the grocery shelf.
Now, what's weird is, is it just is it only Black people who work at grocery stores stocking shelves? While he's in this lily white home and whatnot, I don't get it.
Come on, man.
Yeah, Joe Biden, you just need to keep quiet over there. Anyway, this bizarre remarks reminds me of the time Biden said that poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids, as well as other racist comments he's made over the years. Does Joe Biden assume that the only people who stock grocery shelves wherever his handler shops for him are Black women? What if they support Trump and ain't Black? Remember that one? Yeah, he did that with Charlamagne the God. These and other comments continue to prove just how little Joe Biden really thinks of Black Americans. Now, he tries to pander, but that wasn't the only thing from yesterday that was weird. Also, following Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis, Biden calls for a literal death blow against Trump. 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden called for Florida's Haitian voters to deal the final death blow to President Donald Trump's campaign on Monday. I'll explain. You just have to listen a little bit. Think about this. Let's hear it. Let's hear it first. Here we go.
Think about this. Wouldn't it be an irony, the irony of all ironies, if on election eve it turned out Haitians delivered the coup de grace in this election?
Now,
think about
if you're not familiar with the term, coup de grace is the death blow. Now, granted, this is the same day they get that Trump is diagnosed with COVID-19. Now, let me tell you something else that would be a little bit ironic about that too, because a certain Democrat who ran for president of the United States last time still owes the Haitians a little bit of relief money that was collected through a certain foundation. Well, and in fact, wasn't it the same time she was the Secretary of State while Joe Biden was the Vice President of the United States? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So now, that wasn't the only thing he said weird, though. Oh, apparently there's a lot of Haitians in Florida. Let me go back to this article for a second. So let's see. In a critical battleground of 29 electoral votes up for grabs, recent polling has shown that Biden is struggling among Florida's Hispanic voters. According to a survey last month by NBC Marist, Biden is losing to Hispanic voters to Trump by 50% to 46%. In 2016, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton carried this once key Democratic voting bloc by 62% to 35%. Now, isn't this weird? So now they say that that Biden is leading among Florida's Hispanic voters 50 to 46% when Hillary won 62 to 35%. Apparently the death blow is going the other way. But anyway, now, one other thing he did that was weird, though, during this event with the Haitian crowd here in Florida, he made one of those weird things he does or says about girls. And here it is. Biden to girls. I want to see them dance when they're 4 years older. It took me a while to figure this one out, but it still comes weird when it's coming from Joe Biden, Mr. Touchy-Feely, smell ya if you're near me. Joe Biden visited. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. Give me a second. Okay, Black Hebrew Israelite says,
That's right.
is Joe Biden a disciple of the wipe asshole nigga that be fucking black bitches at the grocery store? That's wipe.
That's right.
Okay, so I do take a little bit of editorial control of my super chats, just FYI, and so I'm gonna try this again so that you can at least figure out what I was saying. And thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for the $2. I'm gonna try it again. Is Joe Biden a disciple of that asshole nigga that get my bitches at the grocery store?
That's right.
Did you catch that? There's some the disciple of the unwipe asshole nigga that be fucking like bitches at the grocery store. That's wipe.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. So, Joe Biden visited the Little Haitian Cultural Center in Miami on Monday and told a group of young girls he wanted to see them dance when they were 4 years older. Now, here's the clip. Now, it took me a while to figure this out, but it didn't make sense until now. But here it is, what he said, and then I'll explain maybe what he meant, even though it really came off as creepy grandpa. Here we go.
The good news is, for me, I'm here. The bad news for you is I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too.
Okay. Now, yes, that sounds really weird, doesn't it? Especially coming from Creepy Joe, right? Now, I'm pretty sure what he meant, maybe, at least I'm hoping this is what he meant. Well, here, let me, let's see, yeah, good. So let me tell you what he said if you couldn't hear it. The good news is, for me, I'm here. The bad news for you is I'm coming back. Now, first of all, that was a weird statement in itself. The good news is, for me, I'm here. The bad news for you is I'm coming back. Why is it bad news that you're coming back, Joe? And then he goes on to say, and I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too. It comes off as super creepy, right? And here's the picture of the girls he was talking to. They were doing some, probably some traditional Haitian style dance, whatever. But he did, yes, thank you, Avocados Diabli. That's what I was about to say. He did say it poorly. I think he meant at the next election. Very good point. That's what I was going to say, too. That came on the heels of him saying he wanted Haitians voters to deliver a coup de grace to Trump in the election, which means the death blow. But anyway, it was still kind of creepy, and it's because the only reason that probably comes up is because it's plenty of pictures of Joe Biden sniffing kids. Thank you. Oh, good morning, Blue fans. How you doing? Hi, Cynical Lindsay, James Crow, and I think that's everyone I've got missed so far. Thank you, Gunfox61, for the $3 super chat via Streamlabs. He says, yes, he wants to see them pole dance when he comes back. That's how it came off. It's like, you want to see him dance where, Joe? At the club? Do you think I want to be a nasty girl? Anyway, and thank you, Purple Pill Perspective, also with the Streamlabs super chat that says, for $2, Joe Biden must be who keeps bothering all the black women to touch their hair. It all makes sense now. Yeah, don't touch a black woman's hair. Do not do that. Anyway, all right. So, yeah, he just, boy, it came off as all creepy and shit, though, didn't it? All right. Let's see. I got a couple more articles we're going to get through, and then we'll move on. This one's, I found this one interesting, regarding Black Lives Matter. And I haven't decided my complete thoughts on this, but I want to go through it. This is called BLM, A Righteous Cause or Communism in Blackface. My first thought might be the latter. Anyway, it's in the American Thinker. I will link this one also in the chat, just if you want to reference this one later. And we're talking Black Lives Matter, the organization, not necessarily the sentiment. This piece is not about the notion that piece is not about the notion that Black Lives Matter. Virtually everybody supports the phrase Black Lives Matter because they do. And for me, when I say it's like when someone says that to me, I'm like, really? Is that all? That's pretty basic. But anyway, this is not the topic in question, and those who try to make it so are engaging in straw man arguments. Let us lay to rest the question of Black Lives Mattering is not, nor has ever been, in play. This is about the movement and the organization it is attached to. The movement for Black lives and the negative effects it has had on the Black community. According to the Gallup Center on Black Voices, 81% of Black Americans either want to retain police presence or want more. Only 19% of Black Americans wants less police presence. That statistic is very interesting, considering that polls from the same source show that only 19% of Black people have confidence in the police. One fairly obvious way those two seemingly disparate statistics are actually congruent with each other is that in many cities, including my hometown of Stockton, California, one of the biggest complaints about the police is they didn't come fast enough when called. That sometimes police don't show up for 2 hours if they show up at all. In my city, that has a lot to do with the fact that our police officers were reduced by a third in 2010 after a former mayor cuts $14 million from the department. The reduction was felt across the city as crime drastically increased in the subsequent years, and Stockton set new records for most homicides in 2011 and 2012. When the cuts were made, it was so dire that Stockton PD officers had to reluctantly let the city know that they could no longer guarantee our safety. This was true for many cities struggling with crime within those few years, particularly Detroit, Michigan. Budgets were cut and crime increased. Among the lack of confidence in the police department by a majority of Black people, there is a significant number of those who do so because of the lack of police presence. As many in my city expressed, we lack confidence, not in their ability to do their job, but in their ability to show up. Thank you. Real quick, I'll got another super chat here. I'll do real quick. Good morning, Anna Lynn, by the way, and I think I got everybody. Let's see, Al A. What is this? Okay, I'm trying to figure out this last name. I'll just do it phonetically. It says Nelprober. That sounds That sounds almost Scottish. Nell prober. Okay, well, first initial A, anal prober, says communism never ends well for minorities. Just ask the Uyghurs. Yeah, it does not. Anyway, thank you for the $9.99 and another one of my shake weight alerts. I like those shake weight alerts. Anyway, thank you for the $9.99, A Nell Prober. Thank you very much. That's a very, very generous super chat. Okay, moving on. Another position BLM takes is to end all charter schools. Why? This has been a position BLM along with other notable groups have officially taken since 2016, despite mounting evidence that the majority of Black and brown families support charter schools and favor them over their local public schools. The vast majority of Black and Hispanic American parents are pro-school choice, as many know that being able to choose the kind of education their child receives may give their child a better chance of performing well. In California, now this statistic breaks my damn heart. In California, 75% of Black boys in the public school system cannot read at grade level. These staggering statistics stretch across the country, and parents see the need for having the freedom to choose a better way for their kids. Ending charter schools would not only do nothing to help minorities, communities, it would hurt them. If anything, BLM is much more aligned with white Democrats than they are with Black people. The alignment does not end with white Democrats. BLM and M4BL founder Patrisse Cullors admits in an interview that she and her two co-founder colleagues are, quote, trained Marxists, end quote. Because of this admission, BLM's official position should be viewed through that broader lens. Researchers and business analyst Lipton Matthews breaks down in an op-ed why BLM opposition to both capitalism and the nuclear family is incredibly problematic and contrary to the core values of the broader Black community, as is Marxism itself. M4BL writes, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable." Matthews responds in the op-ed, "Those unfamiliar with Marxism may be puzzled at this seemingly random opposition to the nuclear family. Deeper introspection, however, reveals that the BLM organization's outlook is quite consistent with Marxism. The Marxists view the living arrangement of the extended family as more conducive to fostering collectivism, since it requires conformity to successfully facilitate production. On the other hand, the traditional two-parent nuclear family is depicted as an insidious invention of capitalism responsible for displacing the communalism of the extended family. For the uninitiated, Marxism is communism, and it is a system in which the government owns all property and distributes it as it sees fit. It is a system that has proven to fail time and time again, yet proponents of it continue to infiltrate free societies to romanticize and promote it. The millions of people who have fled communist regimes have had much wisdom to offer those of us who think the teachings of Karl Marx are a good thing, but unfortunately, their voices are not elevated like the ones preaching it to the masses. Marxism tends to dress itself in words like freedom, liberation, or revolution to attract young minds. The bitter irony is that Marxism is literally the opposite of those words. There is nothing inherently wrong with it takes a village to raise a child, but a strong nuclear family is also very important and can work hand in hand with the village. BLM's opposition to the nuclear family is pointed and deliberate. Witchcraft is another aspect of Black Lives Matter, invoking spirits of dead civil rights leaders and other Black people killed. This comes from the leadership of BLM, who admit to ancient African and Eastern pagan rituals of conjuring up spirits and praying to certain pagan gods. This aspect of BLM may not mean much to non-Christian blacks, but as of 2020, 79% of black Americans identify as Christians. And the Bible prohibits witchcraft and the occult of any kind, yet the messages of BLM seem to have made its way into many mainstream churches, black and otherwise. Two of the most important reasons why BLM has made its way into churches is because, first point, many mainstream churches have embraced liberation theology, which is an anti-biblical movement that makes Jesus into a radical political revolutionary seeking to overthrow the rich rather than God incarnate who came to save humanity from eternal death. And the second point, mainstream churches are unaware of the witchcraft that underlies BLM. So, again, this is not a discussion about whether or not Black Lives Matter. That discussion tends to be a binary distraction from the deeper threat that BLM poses to the black community. But one does not have to take my word for it. Go to a black church, step into a low-income black neighborhood, ask black people how they feel about the issues raised here. I guarantee you the answers you will receive will be much more disparate than the leadership of BLM would have you think. While some may say BLM tactics are necessary, there's a great deal of us who believe that not only are they not necessary, they will hold us back. This is exactly what any movement will do to us so long as they use cultural Marxism as their guiding principles. They will set us back. Black Lives Matter is a loud minority, and it is time for the quiet majority to speak out. It is the only way that we can move forward. So, anyway, I found that article very congruent with my own personal feelings about Black Lives Matter. The sentiment, obviously, the sentiment should be obvious. Of course, Black Lives Matter. But the organization, got to go. Get out of here. Snap out of it. Anyway, I'm going to go to a quick commercial break, and I will be back in about a minute. Just a reminder, this is, rather than chill, I made a commercial. I'm going to have to fix the commercial, though. I realize there's a couple things there that I need to add, but here's the commercial. See you in a minute. Hey, everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it. You're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. All right, and we're back. Last article of the day is also kind of on this vein in certain race issues. This one's about Trump's anti-critical race theory order. And I found this interesting too. This is from the American Greatness. Oops, I missed this spot there. Trump's anti-critical race theory order is necessary but insufficient. The Trump administration is right. The eras endemic to critical race theory are incompatible with the American way of life and with any Western democracy, but his executive order won't be sufficient to combat it. Now, you know, when I heard about this, the problem is the media is spinning this anti-critical race theory order that he did recently. They're spinning it as though it's anti-diversity training. Now, good morning, Thomas Cleaver. How you doing? And Milkman Dan, what's happening? No. And it's funny because Chris Wallace even asked them in that debate, that dumpster fire called debate, saying, well, why are you against diversity training? Oh, no. Critical race theory is not, it's not diversity training. It is, how do I put this? Critical race theory is a look at race through Marxism, basically. It's a Marxist theory of either you have the oppressed and you have the oppressors. And there's no two ways about it, right? So anyway, If you thought your fiery but mostly peaceful summer was finally reducing from a boil to a simmer this fall, you've got another thing coming. Oh my God, just made me think of, who's that band? Judas Priest, you got another thing coming. Anyway, everything reminds me of a song. As Philip Wegman, writing it at Real Clear Politics, put it, the White House has opened another front in the culture war, and it's sure to keep things hot for at least a few more weeks. On the first Friday of September, at the direction of President Trump, the Office of Management and Budget issued an executive order calling on all federal agencies to cease and desist any employee training programs that feature references to critical race theory, white privilege, or that teach that the United States is an inherently racist or evil country, or that any race or ethnicity is inherently racist or evil. Because they were teaching that in some sections of the government, in their government diversity training. Anyway, the memo authored by OMB Director Russ Vaught explained that it has come to the president's attention that executive branch agencies have spent millions of taxpayer dollars to date on training government workers to believe divisive anti-American propaganda. Vaught cited reports alleging that federal employees have been required to attend trainings where they are told that virtually all white people contribute to racism, or where they are required to say that they benefit from racism. Trump has since extended his initial order to include federal contractors. Along the same lines, Trump has also threatened to cut federal funding for California schools using curriculum materials based on the historically inaccurate and discredited New York Times 1619 Project, which won Nicole Hannah-Jones a Pulitzer this year and, with the help of the Pulitzer Center, has been integrated into primary school lesson plans across the country. Senator Tom Cotton, a Republican of Arkansas, recently introduced legislation that would prohibit federal funding of said lesson plans in elementary schools. As Michael Stratford at Political noted, however, it is not clear how the Trump administration could make a good on such a threat, since long-standing federal law, they put the code here, prohibits the Education Department from exercising any direction, supervision, or control over the curriculum of the nation's schools. Hey, I got an idea that would help in that department. How about we get rid of the Department of Education? Sounds radical, right? Now, this is a side rant here. Look, at least for any relation to K through 12, okay? Our Department of Education, first of all, I'd much rather have, we just say all the tax money that goes to the Department of Education, let's just take that off your taxes and let you do that locally, because every school district has its own thing. I mean, okay, wait a minute. Some of the school lunch programs come out of the federal government. I don't know. I'm sorry. Get rid of the Department of Education. I don't have a great argument. I'm just saying it. It's crap. Anyway, moving on. Going back. Let's go back to this. Along the same lines, I already did that. A few days after the OMB memo was circulated, the Department of Education followed suit with their own memo, disseminated internally via email but obtained by Politico, which largely echoes its precursor. However, per Politico's report on the Education Department email, here, let me read this first. Thank you, Milkman Dan. Here's my reparations. I never owned a slave, but have some money because you're a black. Well, thank you, Milkman Dan. And please, this is absolutely all the reparations you can throw at me. I'm more than happy to take it. I'll find a way to pay it forward too. Although I gotta buy, my microphone's on order. It'll be here in about a week, so I'm gonna be able to change my entire setup. Milkman Dan, thank you for the reparations. And it usually goes into the coffee fund, so fantastic. All right, per Politico's report on the Education Department email, department officials, according to the email, have already concluded that at least some of its training activities, including a program called Unconscious Bias and Conversations in the Midst of Change, would be allowed to continue because they do not include any of the topics prohibited by the OMB memo. The email said department officials have similarly determined that all diversity and inclusion training offered by the agency's Office of Equal Opportunity Services complies with the new OMB policy. The fact that certain unconscious bias training has already been deemed likely to survive the OMB order points to a problem with the Trump administration's recent efforts. National Review recently reported that the CDC is moving forward with critical race theory-based training in defiance of the Trump administration's new policy. Per report at the Hill, that's because there's entrenched bureaucrats who just keep that, who are going to do it anyway. Just like all the bullshit that goes on in underneath the Trump administration that causes all the problems. Per a report in the Hill, the Pentagon has proven resistant as well. The Pentagon not taking orders from the president. How you doing? Fed Chair Powell is speaking now. Hope Powell isn't announcing Fed crypto. We don't need that. So the OMB memo and its interdepartmental progeny may have been necessary to raise awareness, but by themselves they will prove insufficient to affect their desired ends. Thus far, the orders lean heavily on the use of buzzwords and some vague conception of anti-American propaganda. The OMB memo runs only a little over a single page. This will not do. Trump and Voight are right to recognize that the ideologies of critical social theories, specifically critical race theory, are a threat to American democracy and the cultural values that are indispensable thereto. But what is needed is a more robust treatment of the current theory currently. Per the courageous reporting of Chris Rufo, undergirding the significant amount of federal employment training, and presumably racial awareness, sensitivity, or diversity training cannot be banned completely. It is not clear that such a thing would even be desirable. Studies have shown, however, that even measured against the standards of their own purported goals, such training is largely inept. Well, it's government. Duh. Government is largely inept. Anyway, perhaps more scandalous is the fact that it is rarely evaluated in this regard at all. But as scientifically dubious as diversity training generally may be, those programs predicated on the ideological commitments of critical race theory are even more counterproductive. What is needed then is federal legislation that goes beyond buzzwords and ill-defined appeal to patriotism, as laudable as the latter might be. Federal legislation should approach the matter in something stylistically akin to Pope Pius IX's Syllabus of Errors from 1864, which was issued to help explain his rather terse Quanta Cura. It is, obviously, not the content of the syllabus that should be imitated. Rather, the form and approach can prove instructive for contemporary lawmakers. In short, we need a syllabus to Trump's Quanta Cura, or his, what does he want? Not what you don't want. What do you want? And let us know. And put it on paper. The plan of attack against critical race theory-based training programs should imitate the syllabus approach. This would have the benefit of not being hampered by terminological sleight of hand. Instead, it would enable oversight of federal training on a more robust conceptual basis. It would not stoop to the level of simple vocabulary policing, a hurdle that would prove to be a nuisance to CRT-minded trainers, but it would ultimately be easily cleared. The reason that a simplistic buzzword ban constitutes a rather neutered order and that a syllabus approach is to be preferred is because critical theories can be, as a class, somewhat slippery, especially when it comes to the terminology of each insular discipline, meaning critical legal studies, critical race theory, critical pedagogy, queer theory, post-colonial theory, all those stupid anything that you could take as a course in college that ends in the word studies, pretty much what they're talking about here. By the way, if your college degree ends in the word studies, you might want to start studying menus. That's my favorite joke. Anyway, of course, given that all these disciplines and more spring from a common intellectual ecosystem, Marxism, ecosystem, there is terminological and conceptual overlap, but shared themes and concepts are more easily found between disciplines and then shared vocabulary. The same basic framework endures in a variety of context, focus areas, and terminological tweaks. I'm not going to read the rest of this because it's way too long, but I'm going to also put this in the chat if you want to read the rest of that article. Basically, it's just saying they got it. They need to be more specific about what they want and what they don't want, because some people are just going to slip around from this theory to that theory, and all the critical race theory, critical theories of any type are basically all have a Marxist basis. Again, you're either oppressed or you are an oppressor. There is no in between, and the oppressed must weed out the oppressors anyway. And you don't want to be well, and it doesn't matter if you are on the side of the oppressed. You may still be part of the oppressors when the guillotines start dropping. See what I did there? All right, it's time. It's that time to see what the hell is going on in the world today. So we're going to check Twitter like we do. But before I do that, first I want to say thank you to some people who were already shared the show this morning. Cynical Lindsay, who always does. Thank you, my friend. Also, Prospero and Ranting Monkey retweeted my tweet. Well, thank you, Ranting Monkey. I appreciate that. Grillin' Pirate Pete, of course, is when Pete's here, Pete's tweeting the tweet and retweeting the tweet and all that stuff. I appreciate you, sir. And also, Pete has some meat that has been prepared and ready to go in the smoker or maybe on the grill. I'm not sure what you prepared. I thought you said some beef stuff today. Remind me a little bit later. All right. So thank you to all of those. And if you'd be so kind, share the show out using the share arrow, or you can use Twitter, Mindsgab, or Parler up there and retweet my tweet, or just follow me on those platforms. I'm very active on Twitter. I use the others for notifications. If you're on those, great. And also soon to be, thanks you to GunFox61, which we're working on getting my Discord set up in a way that is conducive to me using it and being able to manage it. And Gunfox, thank you for doing that. He will be helping me with that too. If you're still here, I can't tell if you're still here. I haven't seen the chat. And finally, 57 in the show, in the 57 watch right now, 32 likes. Hit the like button if you remember. I'll remind you at the end of the show. All right, let's do a quick exploration of what's happening on the planet right now. Oh, let's say on the top of the Explore tab, Joe Biden says he will make Roe versus Wade the law of the land if Supreme Court overturns the landmark ruling. Well, that's interesting. In Miami, the Democratic presidential candidate outlined how he would respond if SCOTUS nominee Amy Coney Barrett were to be part of a Supreme Court majority overturning Roe versus Wade. However, some commentators pointed out Biden didn't elaborate on how he would codify the rulings into legislation. There have been concerns about the fate of the landmark 73 ruling following Trump's Supreme Court nomination of Barrett in September. Here's just a highlight of the question and answer Joe Biden gave.
I knew whenever I was graduating high school and entering college that I wanted to obtain my degree and start a career before starting a family. Having access to birth control and safe reproductive health care was imperative in making that true for me. So considering the new Supreme Court nomination of Amy Coney Barrett, what are your particular plans to protect women's reproductive rights in the U.S.?
Number one, we don't know exactly what she will do, although the expectation is that she may...
Hold on. You know, what's weird about this is it's weird how they're giving all the power to Amy Coney Barrett. And she's just going to be one justice. Now, already, with the court having Roberts and Kavanaugh on the court, with a majority of the five, it's a 5-4 majority before with the loss of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Both Roberts and Kavanaugh have declined taking certain cases regarding abortion. Okay? And I'm assuming because of the precedent. Now, is it good law, bad law? I'm not even going to go there. I don't care. The point is that they've already have a 5-4 majority that has declined to look at the law again. So Amy Coney Barrett, even though it would be a 6-3 majority of Republican appointed versus Democrat appointed. It doesn't mean that they're not going to go by precedent. It doesn't mean that it's automatically going to be overturned just because, oh my God, they get Amy Coney Barrett on the court. She doesn't make the decision. But anyway, let's listen to Joe Biden's answer here, which makes no sense. These are state laws. Right. There you exactly, Advocatus Diaboli. It wouldn't outlaw any of that. And presidents don't make laws. All right, let's hear his answer.
May very well move to overrule Roe. But the only responsible response to that would be to pass legislation making Roe the law of the land. That's what I would do.
Okay, so he's saying that he would pass legislation. So I'm assuming he means to get the Congress and the Senate to pass legislation. Very interesting. I'm not sure what kind of legislation they would try to pass. And then Twitter, of course, has to ask what is Roe versus Wade. So they go through that. Joe Biden, then he tweets, Roe versus Wade must remain the law of the land. Well, okay, let's see what Mia Brett here says. So there's a thread here. I'm seeing complaints that Biden said he would codify Roe through the legislature. In my opinion, this is a mixed answer. Codifying abortion through federal legislation is something we need, but but the answer isn't sufficient and deserves a stronger detailed plan. Okay, a detailed plan for a hypothetical. Likely SCOTUS. Now she says likely SCOTUS will overturn Roe based on the constitutional privacy justifications. So federal legislation could be a good response, though far from sufficient or guaranteed. Kamala Harris has had some great repro right plans, but I hope that will be used by Biden. Oh, apologies. I meant complaints that codifying Roe. Okay. Again, I don't even assume that they would overturn it anyway. But again, if they did overturn Roe versus Wade, then it would move to state laws. It's weird. All right, moving on. What else is on the, let's see what's on the news, see if anything's trending or anything new happening, and then we'll move on. There was this kind of sucked. Oh, they arrested an officer on suspicion of murder in a fatal shooting of someone named Jonathan Price. Just 2 days after the 31-year-old Jonathan Price was killed by police in North Texas, the Texas Rangers on Monday arrested the officer they say shot him, saying the officer's action didn't seem objectionably reasonable. This is an interesting case. This is a guy, this was a case where he was trying to stop two people from fighting, and because that always comes out to, he was breaking a fight. But in this case, there is evidence that he was there breaking a fight. For some reason, the officer came, and they don't know all the details, but now this young man is dead. He's a young man, he's 31. And so now they've arrested the officer. Just 2 days after 31-year-old Jonathan Price was fatally shot, a Texas police officer was arrested on suspicion of murder. But a lawyer for Price's family says Sean Lucas should have been arrested faster. Well, how much faster? Here's the story from the Texas Tribune. Okay, the Texas Rangers on Monday arrested the officer they say shot him, saying the officer's actions did not seem objectionably reasonable. Wolf City police officer Sean Lucas, who is white, was arrested on suspicion of murder in the death of Price, who was black. the Texas Department of Public Safety said in a statement. Wolf City officials have declined to comment on the shooting, outside of noting on Sunday that the Rangers were investigating the incident and the officer was on administrative leave pending the investigation. He should have been arrested sooner. Why? They put him on leave. They had an investigation. 2 days later, they arrested the officer. That's how much faster should it work in that situation. You can't just automatically arrest an officer in this case, but he's been arrested. Anyway, as tensions in America continue to escalate over police brutality and systemic racism, Lucas's arrest came relatively fast compared to other high-profile Texas police shootings that have resulted in officers facing criminal charges. Amber Geiger, who shot and killed Botham Jean in his own Dallas apartment after she mistook it for her own, was arrested in 3 days after the shooting, but police who kill people are often not arrested unless a grand jury chooses to indict them, because in most cases they're justifiable. But Lee Merritt, oh good God, a civil rights attorney in Dallas who is representing Price's family, said in a Facebook post that the arrest didn't happen quickly. That's fast for a police officer. I'm sorry. He says it should have happened the day he murdered Price. John should still be here, he wrote. This did happen because his family fought for their son from the beginning, and people worked hard both behind the scenes and in the public eye to make it happen. Yeah, the Texas Rangers did their investigation and found it was appropriate to arrest the officer. Good God. On Saturday night, police in the small town of about 70 miles northeast of Dallas were called to a disturbance, according to DPS. Merritt said Price had seen a man assaulting a woman and intervened. When the police arrived, Merritt said Price raised his hands and tried to explain what was happening. DPS said Lucas tried to detain Price, who resisted in a non-threatening posture and began walking away. Lucas fired a taser at Price, then shot him, DPS said. The preliminary investigation indicates that the actions of Officer Lucas were not objectionably reasonable, the agent's statement read. Lucas was booked in the Hunt County Jail on $1 million bond, according to Hunt County Jail records. Oh, God. I am not blaming Jonathan Price, except for the fact, don't walk away. Just shut up and let him figure it out. Good God. Hello, TC Ball. This is one of those ones where, fine, just help. Let the situation will be explained and they will sort it out. But you got to protect yourself. Oh, going to be talking about Michelle Obama's speech just released. Oh, let me find that. Because this just makes me mad. But okay, so now they arrested the officer. I don't know why I have no idea why he shot the man. It was probably unnecessary. Let me see if I can find. Okay, I don't see it here. We'll find it here in a minute. Interesting, it's not on Twitter trending, Michelle Obama's speech. White House staff and top Republicans who have contracted COVID. There's several. I'm not going to go through that. More COVID-19 cases in Trump's orbit. Here's who's been tested positive. That's the same one. Flu is far less deadly than COVID-19. CDC data and fact checkers confirm. Okay. Biden addresses national mask mandate and police reform in town hall. I'll probably get into his town hall tomorrow. Okay, let's look up Michelle Obama. Let's find out what we're talking about here. Michelle Obama trending. Interesting, it's not in the top news. Michelle Obama says that protests aren't violent and Trump is lying about it. Okay, here's the first tweet that came up about this. Michelle Obama says the protests are not violent. Let's get the whole glory of this one. Here we go. This is our former First Lady.
They're stoking fears about Black and brown Americans, lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation, and they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity. It's true.
Wait.
Research backs.
Overwhelmingly peaceful. Is she going to bring up the 7% or 93? Oh, I'm sorry. Is she going to bring up the 93% peaceful? Kessler, this is your fault. Right? Was it Kessler who brought this up? Who brought up this Michelle Obama thing? Hang on. Kessler, where are you at here? I don't have a link. I'm not giving out the link for the Discord yet, by the way. Someone just asked me that. Michelle Obama. Anyway, let me just keep listening.
It up. Only a tiny fraction of demonstrations have had any violence at all.
It was you. Oh. Only a tiny fraction of demonstrations have had any violence at all. Have things burnt down? Have businesses been destroyed? Have things been looted? Have people died? At least 30 people. I know for a fact, at least 30 people. 33, it's probably higher than that now, died as a result of the peaceful protests. Oh, good God.
So what the president is doing is once again patently false. It's morally wrong. And yes, it is racist. But that doesn't mean it won't work. Because this is a difficult time, a confusing time. And when people hear these lies and crazy conspiracies repeated over and over and over again, they don't know what to think. With everything going on in their lives,
that's Minneapolis right there.
Have
Oh, that looks
time to
peaceful.
Fact-check falsehoods being spread throughout the internet, and even reasonable people might get scared. And the one thing this president is really, really good at is using fear and confusion and spreading lies to win.
Okay, hang on. Let's. Michelle Biden, only a tiny fraction of demonstrations have had any violence at all. Yeah, just a tiny fraction. As a Black woman who's done everything in my power to live a life of dignity and service and honesty, the knowledge that any of my fellow Americans is more afraid of me than the chaos we are living through right now, well, it hurts. No one's afraid of you, Michelle Obama. No one's saying it's just Black people. Good God. Woman. No one's saying they're afraid of you. No one's even mentioned, other than it's been the Black Lives Matter and Antifa. So her final pitch is vote for Joe Biden like your life depends on it. Like your life depends on it. So this is Michelle Obama's final pitch. Former First Lady Michelle Obama excoriated President Trump during a video message aimed at delivering her closing argument for why voters should elect Joe Biden. Okay. She admonished the president for his push for college to reopen immediately because college kids aren't dying from this. Okay, look, let's put it this way. If there's a college age kid who's died from COVID-19, they're the same college kid who would die from the flu. Okay, it's much more deadly for older people or people with multiple comorbidities. But as far as younger people, ages 25 and under, 0.003%. 0.003% of people 25 and under who have gotten COVID-19 have died. 0.003%. It goes much higher if for people over 70. Okay, and the age of college students or age of kids in school is usually under 25. I'm sorry. My brain will melt if I actually watch that speech right now, but I'm gonna watch it later and maybe talk about it later, and who knows. You know, I would say there'd be a lot. Oh, thank you, Mike Savage. Thank you, Renton and Ranting Montague for retweeting the show this morning. I'm not going to watch Michelle Obama's speech. I'm just not going to do it. Oh, my God. It might make my head hurt. Protesters in Kyrgyzstan stormed parliament after demonstrations over vote rigging claims. Hey, 20th Century Fox, how you doing? Protesters in Kyrgyzstan. Okay, that's something that could happen. Stock futures tick lower ahead of Powell comments. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, here we go. Fed Chief Jerome Powell warned of potentially tragic economic consequences if Congress and the White House don't provide more stimulus. His strongest remarks yet. So that's probably why there's a slight downturn in the stock market today. Oh, Kamala Harris is going to be on the cover of Elle magazine. Oh, isn't that special? Yes, of course she is. Of course she is. Oh, Kamala Harris, the woman who could be vice president on the fight for justice and freedom she's been waging since birth. Hello, not provided. God. Oh, they make her look so good too. Look how nice she looks. You know, I mean, I wish they could get a black woman to run for vice president, but she's the next best thing. Oh, good God, people. Kellyanne Conway, my daughter Claudia is beautiful and brilliant. She has access to top doctors and healthcare and lives comfortably. Like all of you, she speculates on social media. Yet she is 15. You are adults. We have COVID, but it's clear who's really sick. Yeah, apparently Claudia Conway was tweeting out about President Trump's condition the other day, saying it was much more dire than anyone say. Well, the president's back home and all the usual suspects are tweeting at them. Anything else in the news before I go? Yesterday, we don't need that. Biden addresses national mandate on our town hall. You can watch about his town hall on other people's streams. I'm just going to stay away from it. Doesn't look like there's anything more than current. Melania Trump returned. President. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Wrong. That's the president returned. Government, family members. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing. Oh, other than some Twitter propaganda, there's nothing else new. So 2 hours ago, Kamala Harris. 25 minutes ago, inside story of Mackenzie Scott, the mysterious $60 billion woman. Anyone ever heard of her? Amazon's first employee, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. Oh, and one of the world's richest women is rewriting the philanthropy playbook. Yeah, she's pretty much just. That 60 billion she got in that divorce is just flowing out to charities and all kinds of stuff. She's been following up on the commitment I made last year to give away the majority of my wealth in my lifetime, which she is doing. She's giving it all away. 116 organizations driving change. Ugh, that makes me nervous. She is a Bezos, by the way. And then we got the Nobel Prize Prize. All right, that's it, guys. I can't do anymore. It's time for me to go. And because I am on a limited time basis. I'm going to just remind you that I'll be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT, like I am every Monday through Friday on the Morning Live. Now, we had 50 people here, 45 likes. That's a pretty good ratio, but a couple of you haven't hit that like button yet. If you like what we do, hit the like. If you dislike Duck Dog, I know I got the one dislike from Duck Dog. That's a special thing between me and Duck Dog. Don't think anything further into that. Tomorrow, I'll see if I can get caught up in Joe Biden's town hall, or there might be breaking news that I'll talk about that otherwise. But I'll be back tomorrow. Share the stream if you haven't done already. Hit that share arrow or retweet, one of those things, or repost, or whatever they call it on whatever platform you're on. And if you really like what we do and you'd like to support the show, you can do that through the Super Chats, either through YouTube or Streamlabs. And we also have a Venmo and a Cashapp link down in the description below if you want to help us out. And, I've got some of my new equipment right there. I'm just waiting for my microphone so I can fix this peaking problem that I have when I use this microphone. Hopefully that'll fix the problem. So thank you so much for being here today, and I appreciate all of you. I gotta go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. No new outro today. Maybe tomorrow. See ya. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.